Oh my God, I'm live. I guess. Hopefully, everybody's listening. I am here and I am going to talk about the NFL predictions for week 15. I'm going to talk about the New York Jets. I'm going to talk about Zach Wilson. And what's the other guy's name? Mike White. So we'll go over these things here. And let's see. So far in week 15, since it's Friday, we've already missed Thursday. San Francisco won. They beat the Seattle Seahawks, and that was no surprise at all. I wish I was on a couple days ago so I could have picked San Francisco to, I would have said spank Seattle, but they beat them by 8 points. And quite honestly, it wasn't that close. Seattle was never in the game. I think the final score was 20-13, but it was like 20-3 with 3 minutes left. And San Francisco let them looked like they let them score. It was like a long pass. The guy ran all the way down the field. It was brutal. But San Francisco won, and Seattle sucks. And the Jets play Seattle coming up in a couple of weeks, and that should be an easy victory for the Jets. Can't wait. All right, the NFL schedule. We'll start off. Let me take my glasses off. I think I look so much better without glasses. You know, some people they look like Harvard professors with glasses. I look like a retard. I get it. Miami at Buffalo. Buffalo -7. Wow. Um, Miami's playing in the cold in Buffalo, but it's an AFC East opponent. You know, they play each other a lot. They know each other a lot. I took Buffalo -7. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I think Buffalo ends up winning by 10, maybe. They might get an extra field goal in the last 5 minutes and make it a 10-point game. And Tua sucks. So Miami might play hard. They know they need this game. Miami can actually go from right now being sold. I think they're the number 6 seed in the AFC, which Buffalo's got the division. Then Miami's the very first wild card, but they can actually drop totally out of the playoffs if they lose this game. If the Jets win, and trying to think who else. If New England wins and the Chargers win and the Jets win, Miami's out. They're down. They're out of the playoffs. So, and I think that's where they're going to be. I don't think Miami makes the playoffs this year. I watched the last 2 games Miami played. They were horrible. I mean, Tua was horrible. Like the worst QB that's ever played in the NFL. I don't get it. Everyone's saying how great he was in the last 2 games. He can't even throw the ball 20 yards. I don't know what the deal is with him or what goes on with him. I don't watch them quite enough every game, but Tua's. I did watch that last game, and he was horrible. And this game against Buffalo in the cold, you can't throw the ball in warm, nice weather, and you go to the cold there, it's going to be ugly. Buffalo's defense is solid. I watched them beat the living shit out of the Jets last week, physically. And boy, Miami doesn't play physical, and in the cold, they're not going to play physical. And Buffalo's going to play physical. Buffalo could win this game, yeah, by more than 7 points. We'll just put it that way. They might win it by a lot more than 7. Miami does win or even cover, it's going to be close. So take Buffalo. Chances are they beat Miami quite badly up there in the cold in Buffalo. It's going to be snowy, 25 degrees, which isn't the worst weather for football. As someone from upstate New York, when it's 30 degrees, it's actually warm. When you're from up north and you're playing football in 30-degree weather, it's actually a nice day. But and it's not even for cold teams when you're playing football and you're out there in 25-degree weather. It doesn't feel that bad. But with the snow and the wind, it might all just be too much for them. Philadelphia at Chicago. Philadelphia -9. I always hate big spreads, but Chicago's horrible. Philadelphia is really good. They win this game by 9, and they're in Chicago, but Chicago's just playing really bad football, and Philadelphia's playing really good football. Philadelphia will stumble into a 14-point win in this one, I think, even if they don't play hard. So we'll take Philly. That should be a fairly easy one to cover. Atlanta at New Orleans. Wow, I don't give a shit. I looked up the spread. Somebody was favorite. I don't know who. These teams suck. I hate the NFC South. I never win them when I pick them. I always pick the wrong team somehow. It don't matter. So for me, every time I pick an NFC South game, I lose. So why would I tell you to pick one? Why would I give you my who I think will win? I think Atlanta will win, but I'm not even going to tell you to do that because I'm always wrong when it comes to NFC South. So fuck it. Detroit at the New York Jets. Hello. It's my wife walking by. Detroit at the New York Jets. The Jets are +3 right now because Zach Wilson's playing. They went from +1 to +3 today because Vegas thinks Zach Wilson's going to fuck it up for them. I'm going to take the Jets because I know the Jets are good. They play hard. Don't know that much about Detroit. I know they're getting better. I know they're on like a 5-game win streak or something like that. But I did look back at the 5 games they won. And besides Minnesota, who is the most overrated team in football, we can go through that again. And they beat Buffalo and the Jets, and they were home for those games and snuck by both games. Jets had like 5 red zone tries against Minnesota and couldn't get one of them in the end zone because the Jets shot themselves in the foot, not because Minnesota was so great, and Buffalo fumbled away the game. So, and then Detroit beat them last week, and Detroit beat them by a touchdown. Detroit gives up a lot of points. They do have a good front four, but their secondary sucks. They're not good against the run. The Jets have a great defense. I don't think Detroit has seen a defense like the Jets this year. They played Chicago over and over, and Minnesota and Green Bay. They just haven't seen a good defense yet. Um, this is going to be an eye opener for them in the cold, in the snow, wet, cold weather, windy. They're a dome team. Detroit's a dome team. Um, the Jets should probably get 6 points as opposed to 3. For being the home field advantage. So I'll just take the Jets. I mean, +3. Um, we'll talk more about the Jets later since this is on the Jets and the NFL picks. Right now, I'll just say take the Jets +3. I can see the Jets beating Detroit handily. I don't see Detroit beating the Jets handily. I do not see that at all. I don't see it one iota. This is going to be a tough game for Detroit. Jets are really going to come out hard. They've got to win this game. Detroit has to win this game too, but Detroit has just played Minnesota. They beat Minnesota in Detroit. And so that was kind of their game of the year. And the Jets played Buffalo in Buffalo. And it wasn't their game of the year because they'd already beaten Buffalo. I think the Jets didn't want to go to Buffalo and play in the snow, where Detroit they had to beat Minnesota last week. They had to have any chance for the playoffs. The Jets weren't, they didn't have to win to make the playoffs last week. Both teams need to win this week, but I just think Detroit overlooks the Jets. I think Detroit looks at the Jets on the schedule and says, "Ooh, this is an easy game for us," and they're going to have a come to Jesus moment about halfway through this game, and it might be too late at that point. The Jets are a better team than Detroit. Detroit doesn't know that. Most of the players on Detroit probably think the Jets suck. They don't follow football as well as I do, or even you do. If you're watching this, you follow football more than the Detroit football players follow football. They play football. They hear Jets, they think a stinky team. They have no idea what they're in for when they go up against them. So take the Jets +3. Pittsburgh at Carolina. I'm always going Sam Darnold. I'm a Sam Darnold truther, as the Jet fans like to say. A truther. That's what I am for Zach Wilson because I want him to succeed. Not because I think he's any good. I just want him to succeed. So I'm a Zach Wilson truther, which is ridiculous. But we'll get into the Jet stuff later. Carolina -3. This is a tough game. Based on what I tell you, don't bet it, but I'm going to take Carolina. Um, I'd stay in. If you're someone who really wants to try to make money betting football, don't take Carolina in this game, but I'm going to take them here. You want to make some money, take Buffalo. Take Philadelphia against Chicago. Take the Jets against Detroit. Don't take Carolina against Pittsburgh, even though that's my pick. Dallas -4 at Jacksonville. I don't know. This is a tough game. I mean, these teams don't play a lot of the same opponents. Dallas is obviously a fairly good team. Jacksonville is fighting for the playoffs now. They could overtake Tennessee if they win out, but I don't. This is a tough one to pick. I don't know who's better. I mean, the AFC has been a little better this year than the NFC for the most part. Last week was the NFC. It was an NFC trouncing of the last couple of weeks. The NFC's trounced the AFC, but up until last couple of weeks, AFC's won like every game. But um, Dallas at Jacksonville, I just don't know. Dallas is -4 right now. Let's just watch it and figure out who is better because this is really it's a good game to watch just if you're curious about who's better than who. And yeah, this is a tough one. Um, I took Dallas, but I don't know. We'll see. Again, you want to make money? Don't listen to me on that one because I really don't know. I'm just guessing. KC at Houston. KC -14. Houston really sucks. I think I've been over this before with you. They have a bad offense, bad defense, bad coaching, bad special teams. And KC can probably show up hungover and win by 21. So take KC in that one. Um, I know 14 is a lot of points, and I hate to pick, 14 is like, oh my God, 14 points. But really, KC is that much better than Houston. It's like NFL versus college. So take KC. Arizona at Denver. I don't know. I don't care. Another game, interconference. Arizona's played different teams than Denver. There's not a lot of matchup. I mean, there's not a lot of games you can look at. Denver's played the Jets and they played uh, Los Angeles Chargers. Arizona hasn't played the same teams Denver has, so it's really hard to pick this game. They both suck. If you were going to hold a gun to my head, I would say Denver. But really, again, this is too hard of a game to pick, and you're gonna see that a lot. I mean, don't waste your money on a game that's a coin flip. Why would you do that? Why would you say, "Oh, I'm gonna lay my life on the line"? You're gonna be like a degenerate gambler to bet this game. I mean, this is like betting against, which turtle wins the race. And you don't know anything about turtles. And it's the same thing here with Arizona at Denver. No one knows who's going to win this game. Denver probably because they're at home, and they play better at home. But that's a tough one. Arizona also plays, in high elevations also. So they actually can travel to a high elevation, unlike the Jets go to Denver and, all their guys are barely able to get oxygen on the sideline. Arizona plays at a high elevation. So this is a tough game, Arizona at Denver. And not just tough, but stupid. New England at Las Vegas. New England is getting a point and a half in Las Vegas. It's a dome, I believe, of some sort, or if nothing else, you're not going to get no weather to interfere with it. New England's 7-6. Las Vegas is 5-8. New England's got a great defense. Las Vegas ain't got nothing and nothing. I mean, they haven't got anything going for them. So I would take New England in this game. At least they got a great defense. Um, Las Vegas has a crappy defense and a up and down offense. New England's going to shut them down if they want to. So I'll take New England in this game. I was also playing for a playoff spot. Las Vegas is out of it. And it's an interesting game only in the aspect of the head coach for Las Vegas used to play for Bill Belichick. Used to be Bill Belichick's assistant coach. Oh, I can't even remember his name right now because I lost track of it. Oh gosh, what's his name? Las Vegas's coach is the ex-offensive coordinator for New England, and so he's going to try hard. But take New England in this one. Bill Belichick always loves to kill his ex coordinators, and he has for the most part. He's killed all his ex coordinators when he plays them. Tennessee at the Los Angeles Chargers. Tennessee is getting 3 points against Los Angeles. They're in Los Angeles. Again, a Los Angeles home game doesn't mean anything because the Chargers, one, don't have no fans, and two, you're playing in the weather or anything. So I took Tennessee +3 just because they're getting 3. Both teams are equal. No home field advantage. Neither team is great. Neither team is horrible. But I took Tennessee getting 3. Maybe Los Angeles wins by 2 or 1, but it seems like Tennessee would be a better pick here. Cincinnati at Tampa Bay. Easy game. This is the one you want to put your money on. This is the one you bet the farm on. Cincinnati -3.5. Cincinnati's a very, very, very good football team. Tennessee sucks. Cincinnati -3.5. Come on. This is an easy one. Put your money on Cincinnati. I would love to see Tampa Bay win this game. I would love it because Cincinnati's up against the Jets and fighting for a playoff spot. Baltimore, Cincinnati still haven't pulled far enough away from the Jets. One of them teams could fall below the Jets and get the Jets into the playoffs. This is an ass whooping. Cincinnati is going to beat the living fuck out of Tampa Bay. This is where everybody, this is not good for Tampa Bay. I'm sorry. I don't see them having any chance against Cincinnati. This is a good team versus a bad team. Don't be fooled by Tom Brady at 50 years old coming out and winning this one. New York Giants at Washington. Again, I just don't know. Washington's 4.5-point favorite over the Giants. I just don't know. I haven't seen enough of these teams myself. I haven't watched their games that much. I think they got the same record, and they're both playing for playoff spots. And Washington being 4.5-point favorite, I believe, is 1.5 points too many. I believe this is a 3-point game. So I would take the Giants if a gun was held to my head. I love their coaching staff, and coaching is 99% of a football team. So maybe you take the Giants here, but I wouldn't bet it. It's just because I don't know that I really just don't know. Washington, I believe, is a better team. They're pretty well coached too, and this is a tough one. Like I said, guns held to my head. I take the Giants +4.5. Figuring it's a field goal. Rams at Green Bay. Green Bay is -7. And Green Bay is pretty much out of the playoffs unless they win out. And Minnesota loses a lot. I mean, this is a -7 just seems like a lot. If it was -6, maybe I'd take Green Bay, but -7, stay away from this one also. Green Bay beaten by anyone by more than 7 this year? I don't know. So I would stay away from this one. I know LA Rams have packed it in. They've gone home. But at Green Bay, we got Baker Mayfield playing for the Rams. He sucks. Stay away from it. Indianapolis at Minnesota. Minnesota -3.5. They're in Minnesota. Indy's a dome team. Minnesota's a dome team. 3.5. Again, it's another game. I'd say if it was 3, you take Minnesota all day long. 3.5 makes it a little questionable, but I would still take Minnesota. Minnesota should win this game. I know they got nothing to play for really at this point. But I'd still take Minnesota. They're a well coached team. Offense is great. I watched against the Jets. That offense is great. It really is superb. They were able to move the ball against the Jets pretty much at will, and they didn't score a ton of points against the Jets, but they moved the ball. Well, they scored 27 points against the Jets. I don't think anyone else has scored over 20 against the Jets all year. Take Minnesota minus 3.5. Baltimore at Cleveland. Now, this is the strangest line. Baltimore is getting 3 points at Cleveland. Baltimore is 8-4. Cleveland's like 4-8 or something, or 5-7. So this was shocking that Cleveland was a minus 3-point favorite. You can go with the Denny Green and they are what the record says they are and take Baltimore. I mean, getting 3 points. I'll take Baltimore getting 3. Although I want Cleveland to win, but that's that. That is the NFL picks for week 15. Got a couple easy ones, a lot of tough ones, but a couple easy ones. Like I said, I mean, I see a couple easy ones here. The ones I really liked was a Buffalo -7 against Miami, Philadelphia -9 against Chicago, Cincinnati -3.5 against Tampa Bay. So I'm taking some. I think favorites are the best picks this week. They really are. Minnesota -3.5 should be pretty easy. Oh my God, there's a whore in my house. Get in that pool. You going in the pool? All right. Somebody's getting in my pool. That's it. Baby Ho, what's wrong?